guys, it's me, Isa. So I wanted to do a video because it's been a really long time, like a year and a half since I think I did the last one. And when I started the videos, like I had the intention that I was going to do like kind of a monthly or bi-monthly deal and talk about the tests that were going on in labs and what doctors were kind of worth the shit to see and what doctors were assholes, and kind of so that people who have Ehlers-Danlos and dysautonomia and MASTCELL and all the kind of comorbidities that go along with those would have a guideline as to maybe who would be the best to facilitate each aspect of this and what tests to look for and kind of what not to fuck with. However, I wasn't being realistic with the whole timeline of this, because for each specialist you see, you have to get a referral, and each referral takes a while, and then you have to wait even longer to get an appointment with the specialist. And then with us, 9 times out of 10, the specialist says, we don't know what to do, you need to go see this other specialist. And then it starts this whole perpetual shitstorm of stress and going through referrals and just numerous doctors who don't see a whole lot of patients who have Ehlers-Danlos, so they don't kind of get the full scope of what goes on with us. One of the many unfortunate things is that it's both progressive and degenerative. So things aren't set. Like, it's not one set thing. It's not like I have a tumor or I have something like cancer of the pancreas or something. It's not defined to just one part of the body. So you get it literally every part of your body. The Ehlers-Danlos, since your collagen is faulty. So what normal people's collagen does is snaps back like a rubber band, and our collagen just goes until it stretches, and that's your body's glue. That's what holds your joints into place. So all my joints are like super hypermobile, and I've got things that are popped out now, and I dislocate shoulders when I roll over in bed. My knees are super wobbly, and I need surgery on both of them currently. And so that's the bone part of it. But then you have the actual collagen, the glue part of it. So that's everything that holds your organs in place. So all of a sudden you start having ruptures and tears and things bleeding, and your collagen is around all your nerves. So people with part of the comorbidities or things that start happening is they can end up with multiple sclerosis because of the collagen around the nerves in your brain causes demyelination. So there's all these other things that add on as each year goes by. You start grouping more and more things. So why I started off with like Ehlers-Danlos, and then there was the gastroparesis where I couldn't eat solids for 2 years and I dropped to 83 pounds. The MASTCELL has kicked in really hard this past year, which had not been a huge problem the past several years, as much as my heart and my GI have been problems. A lot of us deal with the gastroparesis and gastritis and hernias and ruptures and pancreatitis and motility issues, things not functioning as they should, and you get into like the dysautonomia and your autonomic nervous system not working properly. You have no homeostasis. You can't regulate anything. Your heart rate, your blood pressure doesn't regulate. Your digestion doesn't regulate. You can have urinary things, like everything that normally is regulated throughout your body is not. Your fight and flight goes totally ape shit. Your adrenaline, you can have adrenaline surges that feel like anxiety attacks for literally weeks at a time. Sweating, you don't regulate temperatures, so I can't be in cold weather and I can't be in hot weather. So like most people who have dysautonomia, I keep heat on my feet and like the window open. So I have both options going. I be in heat anymore, or I'll start having issues. So yeah, it's really hard when people say, "What's wrong with you?" It's like, how much time do we have today? Because it literally can change week to week. Things that I didn't have 2 years ago, I started having last year. Things I didn't have last year, I'm starting to have this year. And so it's really not just challenging trying to keep up with what was going on 3 or 4 years ago, but now you keep having more and more new things going on. Now I'm starting to have the mast cell issues, and what that means for me is that I'm becoming hypersensitive to a lot of things that's causing histamines to go crazy in my body. And what that looks like for me is all my GI organs will swell, sometimes 2 or 3 times the size of what they should be. My stomach, my pancreas, my liver, and my spleen have been really, like, have literally been like 3 fingers out from my ribs because they were so swollen. And my esophagus, my bronchial airways will swell up. So I've been having a lot of problems with anaphylaxis that I had never had before. If I get really upset or stressed out, or if I get too hot or exerted too much, I will I break out. I can go into anaphylaxis basically because my body just goes crazy now. On top of not regulating anything and everything kind of being wonky and not staying in place. So it's not just one thing, and it's not that people keep making up more and more things like, oh, well, now I've got this, and now I've got Chiari, and now I've got multiple sclerosis. If you look at Ehlers-Danlos, the list of comorbidities will make you shit your pants. I mean, literally, they're way worse than the actual Ehlers-Danlos that started this whole crap. So right now, my main challenge, it used to be my GI. My GI still gets hit, but it's like after a while now, I've kind of got used to being able to manage it with protonics, and I take serapeptase. I recently started taking kratom, which is excellent for pain management. It works with your opiate receptors, and if you are on pain meds, it will extend them like hours. I've gone 4, 5, 6 hours over my pain med time by taking the red vein type of kratom, which is important to know because white is stimulating and red is sedating. Serapeptase is awesome. I think I've talked about this probably in some of my other videos. It's a silkworm enzyme, and it's what the silkworm throws up. That it's an enzyme that eats through the cocoon, but basically what it does in your body is it eats through like inflammation and infection and masses and scar tissue. And so if you have like arthritis, or things aren't moving in your belly, or sinuses, or like lung issues, like there's just like so many things that it does. You can take serapeptase. As far as what's going on with all my doctors, my heart is really I've got a broken heart. My heart is just totally crapping out. I've been seeing a cardio electrophysiologist who is amazing. He's teamed up with Stanford, and right now I'm having to do a state hearing because my insurance denied my autonomic testing at Stanford. So now I have got a letter from neurology, cardio electrophysiology, gastroenterology, and my primary care, all for the state hearing, stating that this needs to be expedited because I am really facing a heart attack any moment. The electrical currents and signals in my heart are so screwed up that for 4 years they kept telling me I had POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia, and I was fighting that diagnosis because it wasn't postural. That's the P in POTS. So resting, standing, wasn't doing anything. It was with exertion and with any quick like emotional response, my fight and flight. So it goes back to acetylcholine and cortisol and mast cells from my stomach attacking the vagus nerve. It causes inflammation, and like basically my heart signals just don't know what the hell to do. So I've had some really close calls with my heart. I've had some really close calls with anaphylaxis, and I'm so excited for what the future is going to bring. But it kind of stumps me when people say, so what's going on in your health? Are things going better? You know, you have to stay positive and like all that. You know, yeah, I get it, but I have to also stay realistic. And that's really more important for me, is to stay realistic with myself and to stay realistic with my friends and my family. And to not put on some facade that, you know, I'm Superwoman and that this doesn't fuck with me mentally and emotionally. It totally does. Like, anybody who lives like this daily, who had any semblance of a life before, you know, me being a performer for 16 years, being extremely active and extremely involved in my community and traveling, and, you know, to all of a sudden have that taken away from you, it's just like, it's devastating just on so many levels, as I'm sure you can imagine. And then there's just this social interaction with people. You stop seeing a lot of friends that you used to see a lot, and it becomes very isolating. It's hard to not become your illness when it's what you're dealing with 24/7, and you don't really get much of a break from it. You don't get a vacation. It's your job all the time. There's, you know, there's no really days off. Maybe every once in a while I'll have a good day, or, you know, something like that. But it's not that it's hard to stay positive. It's easy to stay positive. There's a lot of things I look forward to in life. There's a lot of things I enjoy in life. But it's also really easy to think about, well, if this is progressive and degenerative, what is a year going to look like? What is 2 years going to look like? Am I going to be in a wheelchair? I already have to use a cane most of the time because my knees are wonking out and my heart goes crazy and I get tired of falling down and hitting the ground. So, yeah. I have a lot of people who ask me, like, how all these things tie in. How do I have Ehlers-Danlos, but I have like all this other stuff? Because the Ehlers-Danlos is like the tip of the iceberg. That's the tip of the pyramid, and then you have a bajillion other things because your body is deteriorating like all the time. Things are just getting weaker and carrying and moving around and not cooperating. So yeah. Hopefully I'm going to get the autonomic testing. Hopefully we'll have some breakthrough as to what to do about my heart before I have a heart attack. And I need to have surgery for a bleeding hiatal hernia that has been up in my chest for far too long, probably affecting my heart even more. And hopefully be able to do something about my crappy knee. The orthopedic surgeon's kind of scared to mess with it because, like with other Ehlers patients, it would expedite me having to have a total knee replacement, which I'm not juked about. So I just try to deal with it as long as I possibly can. So yeah, that's the full rundown, the whole year and a half. That's as far as I've gotten. And oh yeah, one other thing, palliative care. I wanted to bring this up because anybody who is chronically ill, or even ill with something serious for a short time that requires a care team, I would strongly encourage you looking into a palliative care situation, which is what I'm trying to go into. And I used to think that palliative care was only hospice, and that was kind of for people on the way out. But hospice is only kind of one small branch of being in palliative care. And really, they get all the doctors on the same page. And your pain management is a top priority. And they really kind of look at you as a patient, not just like this person in this run of a mill that you're just kind of running yourself down constantly and you're never getting answers and you're not getting better. It's just exhausting for everybody. So with palliative care, they work as an entire team with you together, and work on different mediums and things together. So you're not bouncing all over the place like all of us do. It's just really, really exhausting when we have so little energy to work with to begin with. So, anything else? I think that is it for now. I hope that everybody is doing well, and that maybe you found some little bit of information here that is the shit somehow. So, awesome.